It was one of those ordinary afternoons in Newburgh, New York, when neighbors noticed a man pacing around like he had lost all sense of reality. He was muttering, waving his arms, and making disturbing hand gestures. What began as a bizarre sight quickly turned into something far more sinister. A man named Randy Martinez watched in disbelief as the stranger pulled out a knife and threatened him. That was the moment when fear and instinct collided. Martinez knew he had to act fast, not only to protect himself, but also his family waiting inside the house. He dialed the police, not knowing that the call would lead to a viral moment on the internet, one that many would later call the greatest thing they'd ever seen. The suspect was 31-year-old Tony Mann, and from the very beginning, he seemed unpredictable and unstable. When Officer Roman Squadroni pulled up to the scene, he was expecting resistance, but not the sudden explosion of violence that would unfold before his eyes. Martinez, still shaken but determined, held his phone steady, recording the encounter that would soon spread across social media like wildfire. In the video, Mann took an aggressive stance, his movements erratic and fueled by what witnesses believed were drugs. He lunged forward and without warning punched Officer Squadroni in the face. The crowd watching gasped, and in that split second, everything seemed to slow down. But what Mann didn't realize was that Officer Squadroni was not alone. From the police SUV came a partner who didn't wear a uniform, but carried the same courage and loyalty K-9 Lee. With a single command, the door opened, and Lee bolted out, a blur of fur and determination. The fur missile, as many would later call him, launched straight at Mann, locking onto his arm with an unyielding grip. The crowd's fear turned into stunned silence, broken only by shouts and the sharp barks of the K-9 officer doing his job. Mann tried to fight, swinging his free arm wildly, but Lee held firm. Officer Squadroni, still reeling from the punch, quickly regrouped and moved to assist his partner. Together, man and dog brought the suspect to the ground. The driveway that only minutes earlier had been the stage for a frightening standoff was now the scene of justice in action. People watching knew they were witnessing something extraordinary, not just a takedown, but a powerful display of teamwork between a human officer and his loyal canine. Within minutes, backup arrived, and Mann's struggle was over. He was handcuffed, his knife recovered, and his threats neutralized. Before we continue, please take some time to subscribe to Dailydose, like, and share this video. Officer Squadroni suffered only minor injuries, but the story was no longer about his cuts or bruises. It was about the fearless canine who stepped up when it mattered most. Lee's quick response prevented a dangerous situation from spiraling further out of control. The bond between handler and dog shone brightly in that tense moment, and those who watched the video couldn't help but feel awe at what they had seen. News outlets quickly picked up the story, and the video of Mann punching Officer Squadroni, only to be met with Lee's lightning-fast response, began to spread across the internet. Comments flooded in from people praising the officer's restraint and the canine's loyalty. For many, the video was more than just a clip of police work. It was a reminder of courage, loyalty, and the instinct to protect. As for Tony Mann, his night ended not in triumph, but in a hospital bed, being treated for intoxication and minor dog bites before being booked on multiple charges: trespassing, assault, resisting arrest, obstruction, and menacing. His reckless actions brought him face to face with justice in its purest, most unexpected form. And yet, beneath the drama and adrenaline, there was something deeply human about this story. It was not only about a criminal being stopped, but about the unspoken trust between an officer and his canine partner. Officer Squadroni didn't need to raise his fists. In return, his companion, his loyal partner Lee, carried the strength and loyalty of both. For the residents of Newburgh, that day became a story they would tell again and again. For those who watched online, it became a short story, to fall asleep to a story of chaos, danger, and finally, resolution. And for Officer Squadroni and Lee, it was just another day of doing what they were trained to do: protect and serve. As the dust settled and the flashing lights of the police cars faded into the night, the neighborhood slowly returned to silence. But for those who had witnessed it, the memory lingered like a vivid dream, half frightening, half awe-inspiring. Some would say it was just another arrest, another routine day for law enforcement. But others, especially the older folks who sat on their porches that evening, believed it carried a deeper meaning. They whispered about loyalty, about how even in a world filled with chaos and danger, bonds of trust still stand strong, whether between two humans or between a man and his dog, and perhaps that was the true story here. Not just a criminal being caught, but a reminder that courage sometimes comes in unexpected forms, wearing fur and moving on four legs. As people drifted off to sleep that night, they carried with them the comforting thought that even in the darkest of moments, protection and loyalty can appear when least expected, turning fear into peace and danger into safety. And in that calm, they found rest.